Welcome in, everybody, to the Week 5 buy-sell show. Some big news today. Devante Adams, him and the Raiders seem like they mutually want to split ways. The Raiders talking to other teams about possible trades, and Devante Adams requesting a trade. So we'll actually get into Devante Adams here in a little bit, but just some news to start out the show today. Going to start off first with running backs. I'm not gonna give any quarterbacks for buy sell. I think uh, unless you're in a 2 QB league, you don't really look to trade for quarterback unless you really don't like what's on waivers. But typically, you can find a waiver to stream for a quarterback. So I'm gonna start with a running back and Breece Hall for the New York Jets as a buy low. The reason I'm saying is buy low, kind of a rough game, and then the come on of Braylon Allen so far the past few weeks. He only had 10 carries for 4 yards this past week, or 2 receptions on 5 targets for 14 yards. Really rough game for Breece Hall. A lot of, I won't say a lot, but there's people out there that don't watch. They just look at the stats at the end of the game. And those are the ones you're looking to target because they're going to see this stat line and they may start panicking because of what Braylon Allen has done in the past few weeks. And they may be fearful that it's going to end up being more of a timeshare. But Breece Hall is still the lead back in this backfield. This past week was his lowest snap percentage at 69%. I don't see that going any lower. Another tough matchup coming up this week against Minnesota. That defense has been pretty stout. But beyond that, the second half of the season is full go for Breece Hall. I expect more production going forward. Not to mention the crappy weather they were dealing with from the hurricane. So try to put some offers out there for Breece Hall. Feel out how the owners for him are feeling at the moment, and see if you can get him on the cheap. Next player I'm going to go with is the one we just talked about recently, Devante Adams. He's dealing with an injury. They're putting him on the trade block. I would grab him if you can. Between the injury and the possibility of being traded, see where the owners are feeling him at, because it's a good possibility he may end up somewhere that he has more value. So see if you can buy him cheap while he's doing what he's doing. Week 3, played 95% of the snaps, 4 receptions on 9 targets for 40 yards. So rough game. And then the miss last week, the owner may be in panic mode trying to figure out their way forward. So try to grab Devante Adams if you can. Next player I'm going to talk about is a tight end. Did not start out the season the way you would expect him to, but bounced back this week mainly because of an injury. But Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce started this season tight end 15, tight end 47, tight end 18, first 3 weeks. Owners were probably panicking then. They may want to try to sell high right now. So maybe you can find some common ground. He finished tight end 3 this past week, 7 receptions on 9 targets for 89 yards. You may not get a better moment to try to buy Travis Kelce. Rashee Rice more than likely out for the season. Unless they bring in somebody else, Travis Kelce is going to go right back to the role he had last year, that over the middle target for Patrick Mahomes. We'll get into one of the other receivers here and then in the sell high segment. But Travis Kelce is a buy low at the moment. See what you can get him for. Obviously, don't go out and overpay for him because he could bounce right back down to where he was, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think he's going to become Mahomes' primary target for the rest of the season. All right, moving on, we'll go to the sell highs. I have 3 of those as well. I have 2 running backs and a wide receiver. We'll talk about Zack Moss first. Chase Brown came on hot this past week. Cut in a little bit more to Zack Moss's workload. Pretty even on the split of carries. Zack Moss played his lowest percentage of snaps at 60%. Not saying Zack Moss is not valuable, but I have a feeling Chase Brown is going to cut a little more into his workload. He's more explosive. He's looked better over the past few weeks. So I would try to sell high with Moss getting the volume he's getting now. See what you can get for him. Obviously, RB running back is a needed position for most, so don't sell him too cheap. See what you can get. Put the feelers out there. If you can't get what you want, keep him. But his schedule will get more rough as the season goes on. He's played pretty much the easiest portion of his schedule right off the bat, so expect a tough go of it as the season goes on for Zack Moss. Moving on, we're going to talk about a player I never thought would get his feet off the ground, and this may be your only chance to sell him high. He may have a couple more good games, but I don't know if you're going to be able to predict them. But DeAndre Swift for Chicago Bears. Been absolutely terrible the first 3 weeks of the season. 3 yards per carry, 1.29 yards per carry, 1.54 yards per carry. And then out of nowhere, 5.81 yards per carry, 16 attempts, 93 yards, and a touchdown. 7 receptions for 72 yards. Just out of nowhere, just completely different back. I own him on a few teams. I'm going to try to sell high. If I can't get what I want for him, I'll keep him and hope that this trend continues. Well, not trend, but I'll hope that he continues to play like he did this past game. Remember, these are sell highs and buy lows. Don't overpay for anybody, and don't let somebody underpay when you're trying to sell your guys. So yeah, DeAndre Swift. This, like I said, this may be your only chance to sell him because he has been terrible the first 3 games, and maybe has to do with Caleb Williams, maybe not, but you might want to try to sell him while you have a chance. I was big on DeAndre Swift coming into the season, and it hasn't looked like I was hoping it would. So sell DeAndre Swift if you can. Last but not least, Xavier Worthy. I know you should be able to sell him high right now. People are freaking out because he is tied to Patrick Mahomes. Rashee Rice just went down, and they feel like Xavier Worthy is going to jump right into the role that Rashee Rice played. It's not going to happen. They're 2 different receivers. Xavier Worthy stretches the field, and even more of a reason to try to sell high was the big play. Patrick Mahomes over the top for a touchdown. So try to sell Xavier Worthy on the hype that he's going to fill that Rashee Rice role. Like I said, that's going to be Travis Kelce. He's going to pop back right into the role that he was in last year, and he's probably going to end up finishing tight end 1 again this year. We saw him pop up to tight end 3 this past week, so expect Xavier Worthy to continue to fill that downfield role. He may get some more targets. He's had 3, 4, 4, and 4 over the past 4 weeks. You may see him pop up into the 5, 6, 7 range, but I don't think it's going to be what everybody's hoping it'll be. So try to sell Xavier Worthy if you can. But that's what I have on the buy sell this week. Make sure you hit that subscribe button in the bottom corner, and let us know if you're enjoying the show in the comments, and hit that bell for reminders on show drops. And we will catch you guys tomorrow.